Hey, Kermit Weeks here, Fantasy of Flight, and we're going to go on a little adventure today. Somebody called, might be interested in donating an airplane to our not-for-profit organization. Originally started out as the Weeks Air Museum. I changed the name to the world's greatest aircraft collection, so we'll see. We're going to take the little S-39 here, going to Little John. It's a couple-hour flight away, and we're waiting for some clouds to kind of lift up. You know, it's got a little bit of fog around here, but should be pretty good once it warms up and the clouds go up. So come on and join us. Let's go have some fun. Yeah, okay, so I'm sitting here with Jack. Jack's my original AI. He's back doing some work for us, and we're sitting here trying to figure out, it's been a long time since I've flown across country with a 450 Pratt, and we're trying to figure out how much fuel it burns an hour. We've got 20 gallons per side, and you know, we're basically going round about 160, 70 miles, maybe 180, and the bottom line is we got 20 aside. Jack was saying when he was flying the Stagger Wing, he figured 25 an hour, so we're gonna have to stop for fuel somewhere just to be on the safe side. So we're thinking of basically going about an hour and then seeing where we end up, see how much fuel it burns in an hour. I'm taking some Naked in Jamaica rum. You will understand possibly why when we get to our destination. Yeah, so here we are taking off out of Fantasy of Flight on the long runway. As you can see, you can't see anything until the nose comes down. Runway's a little bumpy. Before Act 3 opens, I'm gonna level all that and re-roll it. As you can see, there's just some low scattered clouds at this point, but down south of us there were still some airports that were pretty much fogged in, which is typical sometimes in the fall and winter of down here in Florida. Yeah, just south to the right of us there was some low layers that you couldn't have flown in. You could have flown over the top of them, but we were just waiting a little bit. So as you can see, we're passing the cars at a very high rate there. Florida's got a lot of lakes, and they're basically sinkholes. It's like an old coral reef limestone structure underneath, and the water flows under there, the Florida aquifer, and after a while it'll basically wear away enough of the limestone that all of a sudden, poof, it goes down and makes a lake. So we're doing a little over 90 miles an hour, about 1,500 feet. That instrument doesn't work. 25 inches of manifold pressure is what we cruise at. Like I said, we didn't really know how much fuel we had. I hadn't flown the airplane a lot. They weren't marked on the wing tanks there, you know. So just play it on the safe side. You know, we were watching the fuel gauges, and we were going to go ahead and land halfway. You can see part of some of the Florida swampy Everglades type stuff, although we're not at the Everglades yet, but we are heading south. This airplane holds 4. You can put 2 people in the back. If you look in the distance, that's Lake Okeechobee, and we're just flying over Moore Haven. This little canal here is actually an intercoastal waterway from the east coast of Florida to the west coast. You can actually cross the state widthwise. There's the fuel gauges. You know, we're a little less than half on one side, a little more than half on the other. So we're basically coming in here to an airport just southwest of Lake Okeechobee to get some fuel and play it safe. You'll see a little later there's a lot of agriculture that goes on down here. You'll see where some of the big sugarcane fields are. And here we've landed to get some fuel, but the camera wasn't running. We actually didn't film it, so sorry. Here we are basically leaving. In the distance, that's Clewiston, Florida. You see Lake Okeechobee just in the distance, and we're heading basically due east on the south end there. Having a good time. One of the things that they do is once the sugar cane is basically ripe for picking, they burn the fields. The reason that dirt is so black is not because the soil is so rich in nutrients, it's because it's rich in burnt outside sugar cane. So when they harvest it, they pretty much get rid of all the bulk of the leaves and stuff. So this is pretty much heading towards the kind of the Palm Beach area. You can kind of see in the distance. That's the Atlantic Ocean off in the distance. We're going to a little airport called Lantana, which is just south of the Palm Beach Airport. That's the Intercoastal Waterway up there. And here we're coming in on runway landing at the Lantana Airport. Didn't have a control tower. Coming down to check out an airplane. I'd heard about, it's been talked about, but I had never seen it, so this is going to be pretty cool. A little bit of a bounce there. I think Jack was bouncing the camera up and down. My landing, I'm sure, was much better than that. As you can see, when you taxi, you can't see ahead of you, so we S-turn, you know, make sure you've got nobody up in front of you. Especially at Fantasy Flight, you don't want to hit a cow that jumped the fence or an alligator crossing the runway. So anyway, so we're about to meet our friends and check out this airplane. Too cool. What's happening?
How you doing?
What's happening?
I'm Hunter.
Hey Hunter, Kermit.
Nice to meet you.
Good. So you watch my videos.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
awesome.
you're going to be in one now.
For hours.
Oh my God, cool. Okay, so Jack's, you got the fuel truck coming. So anyway, so this is pretty cool. So we're down here to check on an airplane that the boss potentially wants to donate to the world's greatest aircraft collection. That sounds like a pretty cool plan to me. So getting a little bit of fuel for our return trip. Yeah, the fuel tanks are, believe it or not, they're not actually marked on the wing, but I know how much fuel I've been putting in it. And like I said, we ought to put it up there on the wing when we fill it. But there was a little data plate inside that told us how much it had. So theoretically, we've got enough fuel to make it all the way home. We'll see how it goes. See how much fuel we actually burned here to get here, because now we're topping off both tanks, and we'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll stop. I mean, the weather's just going to be nice. Yeah, so it's got 4 tanks, and we have discovered that on both sides it holds 45 gallons, so it actually has 90 gallons of fuel. So I've always just been playing it really safe. All right, are we ready to rock?
Yeah. I'm Jeff.
Hey Jeff, cool.
Nice to meet you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the...
I've seen you in a lot of videos.
Uh-oh. So this is Lantana Airport.
New, improved Lantana.
Oh my God, that's gorgeous. We're out of here.
All right.
Back to Fantasy Flight. Lafayette, we are here.
Naked in Jamaica.